To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So yesterday you saw that I went to Home Depot, got the plywood and the insulation to finish the floor of our tiny house. So I had every intention of actually getting started on finishing the floor today, if not completing it. It shouldn't take that long. So I got up this morning, did my online work. Of course, I got a job that I do every morning. And by the time it's sun's up and the birds are chirping, 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, I come outside to start my day working out here. Walked outside just for a few minutes and it started raining. And it wasn't a hard rain. It was just a little misty rain, like in the mountains. If you ever been to the mountains and then the cloud comes over? I didn't want to lay the insulation and get it wet. So I decided not to do that. So then I decided, well, I'll go ahead and start the chainsaw up. I'll cut some wood like I was doing yesterday. And as you saw yesterday, I had cut quite a bit down and then I finished up a little bit more this morning. When I was growing up, my grandparents, my dad, they would cut wood, then they would cut it to log size right afterwards. But Carolyn told me that she had always heard and had always done, because she had wood heat most of her adult life, is when they cut a tree down, they would let the leaves dry up and die. The theory is that when it's down, the leaves suck up all the moisture in the wood, in the trunk of the wood. And so that helps season the wood quicker because the leaves are trying to survive. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what we're going to do because it seems logical. And it doesn't hurt anything. On Google, if you type in how long does it take to season wood, it takes 6 months to season wood. Now, I've heard other people say it takes 2 or 3 years, but I agree. Like I said, my parents and grandparents used to cut wood the same season and they would cut it. So we'll let this dry out, and by October, this will be ready to go. But I was able to get this tree down, and then I got another tree down. We wanted to get those out of here. Now, we're not going to cut a bunch of living trees. That's just not our goal. There are some trees that we're going to selectively cut down just because we want to clean up the yard. But everything else we're going to cut down is going to be deadfall. Like you saw yesterday, I was cutting around that stump area, and that made quite a bit of wood. So very happy with the amount of wood we got out of that. And my goal is to get at least 2 cords before fall hits. Now, of course, during the winter, I'm going to continue to keep working at it. We're making a lot of progress already with our 14-inch chainsaw that we bought yesterday. Works really well. I'm really happy with this one. And it's just a little cheap one. It was $119. Of course, I sharpened the blade quite a bit. I'm not that good at it, at sharpening the blade, but I do have the concept. And if you want to learn how to sharpen a blade, just go on YouTube. Every lumberjack on YouTube shows you how to sharpen a blade. The big story of the day is the log splitter. I had one of these a few years ago. Carolyn had one before we met also. That's where I learned about them. This is a manual log splitter, and you can get them at Harbor Freight. And they're called Century Machine 10-ton hydraulic log splitter. Now, if you just go on Google and you Google manual log splitter from Harbor Freight, it pops right up. But I want to go over this a little bit because I know there's going to be a lot of people, oh no, you need a gas powered one, you need an electric one, you need this, that. This thing's only $100, $127 or something. I like it. First of all, this is off grid. And I don't have to use a mallet and a wedge, any other type of swinging instrument that will kill me in the end. It may be a little faster to do, but it would wear me out. Now, this does give you quite a bit of exercise as well. Your arms will feel weak after you're done, but it puts you in shape. Now, you saw the size of the logs I was doing on this too. It's 10 tons. It's a monster. The key to this is you have an 18-inch bed here, but don't cut your logs 18 inches. Cut them 14 inches, and you stick them on there. It's a lot easier to split 14 inches than it is 18 inches. So that's the little trick I learned. So any small branches that I cut up that I'm not going to put on the splitter, I'll go ahead and make 2 feet long because that's what our stove can handle. Everything else that I have to split will be 14 inches, and then I can just double up. It'll be about 28 inches when I stack it. And I actually feel like this thing does a better job than a gasoline one, you know, a small gasoline one. It's not hard to operate. You put your log on it, right? And then you just pump these. The biggest trick about this is 2-speed. This is fast. This extends the ram here extremely fast. This one is power. You don't get as much ram coming out, but you get a lot of power out of this one. So if you look at the ram size, you have a big one and a small one. Well, the big one means that you get a lot of fluid in there, and it pushes the ram really fast because you're getting a lot of hydraulic fluid. This one is a tighter cylinder, which means it gives you more pressure. So as you're trying to get this thing to move forward quickly, you do it like a ski, you know, one and then back, like I was showing you on there. Carolyn does this trick quite a bit where she'll grab both of them and do it like that, like a rowboat. So however you want to do it. And then when you get to the log and you can't operate this one, it'll get so hard you won't be able to operate this one anymore. You just start doing this one. Well, after a while, it gets hard to do too with one arm. So what I do is I sit on this bar to stabilize it. So I just kind of wrap my leg around it and kind of sit on it. And then I can use 2 arms on this one. You're off grid because you're not having to use gasoline or electric. They have one for almost the same price, electric one at Harbor Freight. I think it was $160, but it's only 5 tons. And it would use more electric than what we can provide with our solar panels, and the generator wouldn't be much better. And the thing is if I got to use the generator, then I just will get a gas-powered one, which would have more tonnage. The nice thing about this is you can take it down into the woods also. It's easy to transport. Now, it's a little heavy, but it does have wheels. Now, if you're on a concrete driveway or something, these wheels work really well, and it's easy to pick up. It's got a little handle here in the front. You just pick it up and drag it around. Pretty simple. In order to do this over any kind of terrain, it's impossible to drag around. So what you got to do is you just got to pick it up and put it in a wagon. So that's what I'll do is I'll put it in the wagon, take it down to the woods, split the wood, and then bring it back up when I'm done. We don't have any place to store it, so I did buy some tarps today at Harbor Freight. Tarps are cheap. These tarps here, they're just little cheap ones, just to cover up the wood pile and to cover the wood splitter. They're like $3 a piece, extremely cheap, and it's, you know, 5x7. That'd be perfect. The storage of this thing is pretty easy. The handles come off, just like this. You slide them out, and there's a little spot to put the handle right here. And easy storage. I love this thing. I recommend them to anybody who wants to get a little exercise and split your logs. The thing is in the winter, if you didn't get all your logs split, you could just put it right outside your door. With us, we have the outdoor furnace. We'll put it right by the outdoor furnace. And if I need to split a log, you can just do it in a couple minutes. You don't have to get the gas out, oil it up, and get the gas stabilizer put in. It's always available. Hope I inspire you to get some exercise, come out and do a little bit of manual labor. Enjoy your dream. Thanks for watching.